Well, as promised, this is a video about the track plan of the Sawtoh Valley Railway, or railroad if you're from America. I wish to stress first that there's no such place as Sawtoh Valley that I know of. So if you're going to send messages to me saying the diagrams are wrong or other data is wrong, well, you're living in La La Land. Now these little diagrams I've done up were done in a hurry and they're a bit on the rough side, but they should give you the idea. The first thing you see there is what a dog bone looks like. Now the advantages of a dog bone is if you put a station in the middle there and you have the sidings at the back here hidden, you get trains going somewhere and returning in the opposite direction, and it's a continuous run. Now that arrow's the wrong direction there, but you can see it's just a simple, really is just a simple circuit. You can make it more interesting by putting crossovers and sidings in there. The only fault with the dog bone is if you've got a big gauge like HO or bigger, these return sections will take up a lot of space, a lot of wasted space in the middle. A lot of people kind of use those areas to put storage sidings in, but the dog bone is very effective. Now I had one friend who's got a lot of money. He had a big garage and he has a dog bone layout like that. As you can see, it's the same thing as a dog bone principle. You've got the return loop over there, station there, and one in the middle here. But he's got a really big shed, a lot of money, a lot of time, and no girlfriends to take the money off him. Anyway, that's his fun and games. Now I'm going to show you what the Sawtoh Valley one's like. It's done in a series of stages because there are three layers to it. Now, that's the basic plan. Now, if you see anything rude in that, well, that's your problem and not mine. This is a model railway, and if you're looking for rude stuff, just get on the internet and don't look for pictures of cats. Anyway, that's the basic upper level. Now, upper level here, you've got a station over here in the corner. That's called Old Joints Creek, and the traffic goes through it in one direction. There's all sidings in there. There's a turntable, and there's also a few industries. I haven't shown those there to make it simple. The idea is that the trains will approach into there and they stop at the station there. After a while they'll go into this loop section here, which is behind a hill, and they'll park about there. And they won't be released until another train approaches from this section here. When another train comes in here, it automatically triggers a detection circuit, and that releases that train to come back down the hill. Now, that runs across the backdrop, the full length of the layout. It's 6 metres long. So 6 metres by 3 metres the layout. Once the train gets down there, it's actually travelling downhill, and that's the down line. Over here is the loco and goods area that you saw me putting ballast on earlier on. Sawtoh Valley Station is actually in there, and there's all sidings and whatnots up there, not shown for the sake of clarity. So basically what happens is you get the trains leave this place called Old Joints Creek, and don't they? Excuse the puns. They go down the grade. It's about that much a drop. They'll swing down around past the goods yard and into Sawtoh Valley, into the station. There they can either park, be put into the sidings or whatever, or then they can then carry on their merry way. Now if they want to go through, they go down through there. And this is the example of what the middle layout looks like. They cross over a big valley there, which is Sawtoh Valley, and they go in a spiral down through to a lower level and pass under the main line, down around there. design is such that you can actually have 4 trains running. You can have one coming down into the station, one coming up to the station, one going up the top and one coming down. It'll be a bit of a hassle to do it, but it can be done. I've done it on exhibitions on a similar type layout. Well, anyway, once the trains leave here, they go in the spiral and down to the level. Now the backdrop goes across the back here and actually cuts across that way, so you've got an access hole there to retrieve any lost trains, which, believe me, will happen. Now once the trains get down here, they're on the lower level, and they're about that far below the top layout. Now the lower level is that. You've got a siding there, a tunnel entrance there. You got the other layout, or the old joint creek is over the top of that yet, so it's taken off. The trains will then go in there and they'll go into these holding loops. Again, there's the access hole in the middle. There is a dead section there, linked onto the points, and a set of relays. You'll have a train parked here. Train A can be parked on this line here. When train B arrives, as soon as it gets in through here, it goes on the other line. But as soon as it goes through, it triggers a relay, and that then switches that point over and releases train A out. Train B will then go all the way around and stop here on this other line. It'll wait there till another train comes in on the other line and triggers its release. That'll be done automatically. I've got the relays for it and I've worked the circuit out, and you'll see that sometime in the near future. But basically that's all that the plan is. It's just a convoluted dog bone. As I said, the station's in the middle there. There's a town against the backdrop there in front of the layout there. This layout, these two tracks are a high level, so there's a whole big street and town just in there. There is another town on the upper layer here, which is actually against the backdrop, and you've got industries and that in the middle here, and pine trees for the logging industry. You also got an old joint creek flowing down through a waterfall down below, down there. And across the back here, I'm putting is a series of 3 tunnels, and in behind it there is a series of cliffs, mountain ranges, like the Rockies really. I haven't got around to painting them yet, but believe me, they will be there, and they will have the rock faces on the walls. Now I've already shown you what the rock faces look like. As you can see, that's been built on styrene foam. Now it's a bit messy, that one, because there's bits of broken plaster on it. But as you can see, it can be quite effective. And the trick is, when you're building this type of scenery, is you don't be consistent. When you do the rock faces, do one rock face one colour and the other another, preferably darker, so you get that light and dark, and it gives you a 3-dimensional effect, like there's actual shade on it. This has been done with plaster. The plaster has been mixed with some white glue to make it strong, very strong. As you can see, it doesn't chip. And I use those little pastoral paints, the little sticks, and I flick the powder onto it. I haven't done this one here yet, but there's some other ones you'll see later on that actually got rock strata and different colour striations for the rock. These trees are a bit of the battered side ones, but we also have a little episode later on making them. Anyway, that's the plan of the Sawtoh Valley Railway. And as you can see, I've done some tidying up. I've managed to get some of the point work sorted out. When I say sorted out, I've taken the ballast out of the truck. It can be a bit of a nuisance, but you have to do it. And I've got to clean out the ballast out of some of these little flanges there, some little guide rails. And I've got to do some more fine ballasting back there, and also cleaning up between the track there. Anyway, that's all for this video. The next one will probably move along further layout of the station area. Or I might even be tempted to do a small scenery version on this area just in here. Depends what takes me fancy, what time I have, and what's available, and what else I've got happening at home. Anyway, that's all for this video. Catch you in the next one.